Now, I honestly... Hello everyone, my name is Omega the Real, or Omega if you want to keep it short and simple, and I really hope switching fandoms does not kill this channel, because today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Legacy United Voyager class animated Optimus Prime. Let's talk about them. So a little background on these guys. These guys come from a show called Transformers Animated, and it's about the Transformers. I don't know how much simpler you can get besides that intro. So Animated actually debuted shortly after the live-action movie and lasted from the late 2000s to, I believe, about 2010 until they got shut down for some reason. And it's thought to be one of the greatest pieces of Transformer media out there, so if you agree with that, that's on you, but honestly, this is not my place to critique that. I'm only here to critique the toys that came out 14 years after this children's show, so let's finally start talking about Optimus here. Detail and paint on animated Optimus here is absolutely fantastic. Hasbro is usually always on point when it comes to detail and paint. Wish I could say the same about Bandai, but we're done talking about Godzilla for a little bit. Let's get back to Transformers. Now, I honestly believe that Hasbro has been killing it with their animated stuff lately, especially this guy. Optimus here, while not being as animation accurate as people would like, is stylized enough to where I don't think people care that this thing isn't 100% accurate to the show. And if you're going to complain about a 14-year-old show's toys being not that accurate, are you okay? And to absolutely make my last statement look like an absolute contradiction, Hasbro somehow was able to make the animated figures look amazing, but make these guys look like shit. Now, being completely honest, I do like the toys themselves, but them being designs of these versions of the characters, what happened? Like, seriously, Bulkhead's so stylized that you can put him here in a lineup with other animated characters and he doesn't honestly look that bad. Honestly, we're getting way too sidetracked. I just honestly think the stylized design is weird, because why did they get these guys so right but Prime so wrong? I don't understand. We're getting sidetracked. Like I said, I do really like the design here for the Legacy release. There's just one thing that irks me. Is human-ass face. Most Transformer fans who are well enough equipped with knowledge in this fandom probably know that this is just a cash grab for us, because we're going to get another release down the line, probably a Nemesis, or even if we're lucky enough, a Toxitron, because no way they were going to give us the fast face, right? No, they just hate us. Overall, final thoughts, detail and paint on Prime here is absolutely fantastic, but how does he move around? Let's get to articulation. Also, not entirely important to note, but there are some pretty cool Easter eggs inside of his chest with the little steering wheel. I think that's pretty cool, even though they didn't need to put that. They still did it anyway, but I just think that's neat. So how's articulation on Optimus here? Pretty damn good. Let me get some better lighting. Hold on. Alright, this is slightly better. But Prime here actually has some pretty good articulation with a ball joint at the head, meaning he can move just about in every position you kind of want him to, and his shoulders are a little weird because his joints are exposed here, so if you do... Okay, it's not doing it on camera, but sometimes this has a tendency to just shoot out, and it is kind of annoying, but he's tight overall, and that's really the only complaint I can think of. He's got some really deep elbows, some bicep rotations. Overall, his upper half is really good in terms of articulation. And his waist as well has some pretty good movement with the... Yeah, this is another problem with this stupid thing. So parts of this guy do tend to pop off if you're not careful with this thing, but it's not too much of a hassle to put back on, and overall I don't think it really takes away from the overall experience of this guy, because how many times are we going to get an Optimus Prime that's animated that's this good? Overall, articulation is fantastic. He's got everything in here that he basically needs, and I don't think there's a single joint that really needs to be added besides maybe opening hands if you're bougie like that. But this guy's just fun to mess around with overall. Overall, complaints here are going to be very nitpicky because he's got everything you want, and just that, because I don't think there's anything else to complain about. This is just good. But moving on from articulation, let's finally talk about the one accessory, the Energon Axe. And I think this thing is really, really well done on Prime here. It's got a really good weight and size on Prime here, so it doesn't look too small or too lightweight. So it just overall is very, very well rounded. And with some pretty cool blast effect compatibility, you can even get some dynamic shots with this guy. So he's basically got everything you need and then a little bit more. You can even store the axe on his back in 2 different ways, depending on how you want your axe position to look. This is kind of unnatural, but you get what I'm trying to make, right? And then technically there's an unofficial second accessory with it's just this light bar, so we're not counting that, but it's an option. And then you get more peg holes to put the axe into, so double meaning, I guess. Now, for size comparisons, Optimus here actually stands at a pretty good 6 3/4 inches tall, which is standard for Voyagers, but how does he look with the rest of the cast of the animated series so far? Well, let's figure that out. Here he is next to the Transformers Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Animated Prowl, the Transformers Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Animated Autotrooper, the Transformers Legacy United Deluxe Class Animated Bumblebee, the Transformers Legacy Voyager Class Prime Bulkhead, which, if you ask me, is a pretty good stand-in for an animated bulkhead. And just because I have them out already, Transformers Legacy Deluxe Class Prime RC and Transformers Legacy Evolution Leader Class Skyquake, because I realize animated is always going to be better and Prime's never going to be as good as what we're looking at right here. To finish the robot mode off, Optimus Prime here is an absolutely fantastic addition to the United line, and Legacy as a whole. It's so good to see Legacy have back-to-back amazing Voyagers in its first 2 waves, and then also have Thundertron and Silverbolt in there as well, but we don't talk about those because I actually don't have them yet. I just think it's really interesting to see all these different designs and different shows finally get some representation after fans have been begging for it forever because of G1 over and over and over again. And finally seeing that dream come true in the Legacy line is nothing short of pretty damn cool. And with this many animated figures in just about a year, it's really great to see that Hasbro is finally listening and putting out some of the best stuff they put out in a really long time. So the robot mode's pretty damn great and all, but how does that vehicle mode stand out from every other Optimus Prime? It's pretty damn good. Let's talk about this vehicle mode. Now, I don't know who sold their soul to tell Hasbro to make accurate vehicle modes for these different lines, but I want to personally give a handshake to whoever's responsible for getting this much of an accurate figure for the animated guys. I mean, despite having some stylization in the front, this thing is just pure animated Optimus Prime truck mode, and it is pure animated Optimus Prime truck mode. The back is a little messy because it's mostly just the legs unfurling themselves and then folding back in, but I think we can let this slide with how good the front of the truck is. Like, yeah, the exposed feet are really ugly, but that's just an iconic design. Come on, you can at least smile at that, right? It is so good to finally have something this accurate for these older cartoons, mainly because the ones Prime have are just not the Prime alt modes at all. And it's not just Prime's alt mode that's been really good. Both Prowl and B have had some really accurate alt modes, and you're not seeing them here because 1, B's alt mode gives me a migraine to do, and 2, I hate bike formers. I mean, not even Transformed, Prime along with the other bots from Animated look really, really good together. And I'm surprised it's taken this long to get accurate robot modes and vehicle modes for stuff that isn't entirely G1. And I'm glad for that. We finally have some pretty good stuff coming out. Of course, like you saw earlier, you can also stick the axe on the back of it, which is, you know, we already knew that. But is this thing trailer compatible? No, it's not. I don't know why you're expecting a different answer than no. Overall, finishing thoughts, absolutely get this guy if you can find it. Prime here is a pretty great example of Hasbro when they're at their best, and honestly, you don't see many like them. Maybe Tarn and a couple others, but come on, man, this thing is superb. And I'm pretty sure they're not even that hard to find anymore. I even walked into a store at the time of recording this, like 2 hours ago, and there was an Optimus on the shelf along with a couple other things that I should have picked up. Overall, get this guy if you can. Please like, comment, subscribe. My name is Omega, and I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.